You know, there are so many good TV shows out there that I really like. But there is only one I watched so many times that I can literally speak the dialogues of the characters while watching the show. I'm talking about The Office.
Yeah, The Office is not just a comedy show. The series has shaped its very own genre, the mockumentary genre. The characters play participants in a documentary, they look and talk to the cameras like all the time. And if you watch a few seasons of this famous show, Michael and Dwight and Pam and Jim and Stanley, of course, they all become some kind of a family.
The funny thing about this show, The Office, it takes place in Scranton, Pennsylvania. But none of the scenes have actually been filmed in Scranton, Pennsylvania. All of the scenes have been filmed around Los Angeles in California, the place I am right now. And you know what that means, right? Yep, time for a new movie location tour. When it comes to filming locations, the show The Office is a bit special because, as you might know, like 90% of the scenes were filmed inside the office, which was a studio set and unfortunately not open to the public. And if the characters were outside the studio set, they mostly were filmed in very weird close-ups so that you don't see that much of the area around them. And if you do, they don't really spend that much time at those places, which makes a detailed movie location tour a little bit complicated, to be honest. However, I found a few places that we can visit today, and the first one I'd like to show you is the most important one. A place I've seen so many times on television. It's of course the office building from the outside, and well, it's right over here. Here we are. Scranton Business Park. Isn't that great? Here's the office. This is the road you see a lot of times in the series. And over there is actually a dead end, which I didn't know. Yeah, because they never showed that side of the road. And it smells a bit weird. It really smells like, I don't know, a paper company. It really smells like Scranton Business Park. Yeah, I would say let's have a look at the famous office building as we know it from the show. This is it. This is how it looks like in reality. Looks a bit like a painting, right? Like Pam's painting, maybe. This is where they filmed all of the inside and also all of the outside scenes for 9 seasons. And that's because this, of course, is not Dunder Mifflin Paper Company. This is not even a paper company. This is actually a TV studio. You can still see that if you take a look at the top of this building. You can still see the letters there, Chandler Valley Center Studios. Today, these are not the Chandler Valley Center Studios anymore. In February 2022, a studio company called Coyote, I hope I pronounced that right, bought this building, and now those studios are the Coyote Studios. And right now, while I'm standing here, there are a lot of construction works going on inside this building, so obviously they are building something new inside, and I'm pretty sure the office set is gone. The funny thing about this building, I skipped through hundreds and hundreds of episodes of The Office, and they don't really show you this building in total that much, as you can see it here in reality. They mostly show you parts of this building, the entrance door, or the parking space, or the wall, or whatever, except in one scene, the very last scene of the show that made me cry so much, and this is it.
What we can see is that the building definitely looked much cleaner in the series.
It almost looks a bit computer animated. And you also cannot see those letters you can see here, the Chandler Valley Center Studio. I'm wondering if they just retouched it or if they really removed those letters for the show. But yeah, it looks much cleaner in the show than it does in reality. Also, the hedge on the left side, you can see that. It looks much more maintained than it is right now in reality. And there are also a few more details we should have a look at. For example, in this scene, Michael hits Meredith with his car. Meredith falls down, and then we have a perfect view of the entrance door of this famous office building. What we can see here is they put a sign here, Scranton Business Park, which is not here in reality. And they also put a number here, 1725, the number of this famous building, which is also not here in reality. The doors, if you take a look at the doors, obviously are still the same, but what is quite funny are those windows you can see here. They look like mirrors. You see that? I don't know if that's a thing you need for TV productions or something like that, but I think in the series those windows don't look like that, so I don't really know what happened here. What we can also see is a small blue sign right below this Scranton Business Park sign. I can't really see what's written there. And what is also still here is the tree on the right side, even though it's a bit thicker than it used to be while they shot the show. In this scene, we can see Pam walking across the parking space, and as we can see here, the wall of this building is still the same, and also those little bollards on the ground of the parking space are still here. And here's the scene of the top of this building. Michael is standing on the roof, ready to jump, and here we can see it still looks the same, even though I think the building had a different color in the past. It looked much more brown-gray. I don't know if this is just because of the color grading of the show, or if this building in the past really had a different color. There are a lot of more scenes filmed in this street around the office building. For example, in this episode where the whole office team is doing a charity run, here we can see Jim and Pam right in front of this gate. And as you can see here, obviously they changed the gate. In the past it used to be a green fence. Today there is a black fence with a black tarp on it so that you can't look through. But the good thing is there is a hole in it. This is the reverse shot. We can see Jim and Pam walking along this sidewalk over here, and this scene looks totally different because they built a huge gate here, and they also planted a huge hedge here, as you can see here. In the past there used to be 2 parking spaces for cars on the left side of the sidewalk, and right behind it a huge parking space for cars right behind the fence. It looks totally different, but this is exactly the scene. You can see that if you take a look at the right, there is this building that you can also see in this scene, and if you take a look at the power pole, it looks also exactly the same. There is a pole that leads to the building. The only thing that I find quite funny is where the heck did the palm tree go? You see that? Do you actually ever see palm trees in the show The Office? That's what I'm wondering right now. Because the show actually takes place in Scranton, Pennsylvania, which is much colder than the area around Los Angeles. Did they maybe retouch the palm tree? Here you can see Michael running, and that has been filmed from over here. Here we can see a huge company building on the left side of the road, a brown company building that is still here, and also the area around it hasn't really changed since they shot the show. In this scene, once again, we can see there is a building on the right side that today has a fence. Yeah, just like the other building I showed you a few seconds ago. I was wondering if there is any story behind all those fences they built here, obviously, within the past years. Maybe it's because of security reasons. I don't know. I didn't find any information about that. But I have to say, this is some kind of a weird area, maybe also some kind of a creepy area. Of course, it's an industrial area. It's not the shiny neighborhood of this town, obviously. but I have to say it's a bit weird. There are a few strange people walking around here. It's not as romantic as I thought it would be. It's definitely not the friendly neighborhood as we all know it from the show The Office. Here's the scene. We can see, I think it's Michael's car, am I right? Yeah, that has been filmed from over here. Once again, we can see the gate on the left has changed, and also the building right behind it with the fence, and the hedge definitely has changed. The car turns into the street. That has been filmed from over here. Here we can see a few trees are missing, and also the company buildings in the background obviously have been painted within the past few years. This is Pam's car, and the camera crew is following her because she's going on a date with Jim. Jim and Pam, I think the most romantic love story I've ever seen on a television show. Whatever, this scene has been filmed from over here, as you can see here. And then Pam stops with her car right in front of this building to meet Jim, and she's hiding behind the wheel. That has been filmed from over here. And this is the last scene I want to show you from this place. Of course, we can't go on the roof, but anyway, this is one of the few scenes you can see a little bit of the area around the Dunder Mifflin office building, and this is more or less how it looks like in reality. And once again, we can see in reality there are a lot of palm trees standing around here in this area,
And you can't see any of that in the series.
Isn't that interesting? The next place on the list is Jim and Pam's house. As you might remember, in the series, Jim buys Pam a house, and he's a little bit insecure because it might not be the most beautiful house in the world. But to be honest, in reality, it looks quite good. Let's check it out. And here it is, the famous house as we know it from the show, with the clown picture inside, maybe, I don't know, we can't go inside unfortunately, but yeah, this is it. And to be honest, actually it looks quite the same like it is in the show. The only thing that's really different is the door. It has a different color in the show. They painted it obviously. On the right side we can still see the ivy around this window. It's still here. In the show you can see some flowers over there. I think the main difference, and that's why the house looks a bit weird, is actually the garden. It's really well maintained right now here in reality. In the show, the grass is quite long and stuff like that. I think that's what makes this house look so funny. I don't know. I think it's a beautiful house. Here's Jim right in front of the door. Here we can see quite clearly, yep, the door definitely has a different color. It's quite dark. In the past, it used to be white. There are also some kind of railings or something like that right in front of the entrance. They are also gone. They are not here anymore. And there's also some kind of a rain gutter on the left side, if you can see that. It's also gone. It's also not here anymore in reality. So obviously they renovated the entrance of this house. This is the reverse shot. Jim shows Pam the house for the very first time, and he's super excited. That has been filmed from over here, and also here we can see not much has changed actually, except the house on the right side, which obviously is a quite old house, at least it looks like it, is empty. If you take a closer look, you can see those wooden windows. I can't really see if this also has been like that in the past where they shot the show. You can't really see that. This is a scene from a different season where we can also see Jim and Pam's house. Michael tries to visit them to give them their Dundies. That has been filmed in this street over here. We can still see this white fence on the right side. And obviously the grass and also the trees in the background have changed a little bit. It looks a bit different than it used to while they shot the show.
Here's D'Angelo and Michael storming Jim and Pam's property. That has been filmed from over here. We can still see the gate on the left side, but the flower pot isn't here anymore in the garden, and also the tree on the left side is also not here anymore. As you can see here, it's gone. Sad. Here we can see Jim and Pam's house once again, and obviously they renovated their door. As you might remember, when we saw the house for the very first time, it used to be white. Now it's brown, but it's still a different door than the door we can see today here in reality. In this scene we can see they changed the number of the house. For the show, here we can see this house has the number 383. In reality, it has the number 13831. That's a really difficult word for a German. However, it's quite funny, right? Well, and I think with this fun fact, it's time to leave Jim and Pam's house. Let's move on to the next filming location.
Just a few hundred meters away from Jim and Pam's house, we should find Meredith's house. And as you might remember in the series, it looks so bad that it reminds Michael of Hurricane Katrina. In reality, it's not like that, because in reality, Meredith's house doesn't exist anymore.
Yeah, this is it. This is the famous house we all know from the show, the horror house. And well, this is what's left of it. Nothing is left of it. They built a completely new house here. There's nothing left of this famous scene. However, right next to Meredith's house, we will find Derryl's house. Yep, that's right. This is Derryl's famous blue house from the show. I think it's from the episode when Dwight and I think also Toby try to investigate on Derryl because they don't believe that he broke his leg. And well, that has been filmed from over here. And the funny thing is, in this scene where Dwight hits the garbage cans, we can also see Meredith's house on the left side, but they don't tell you that this is Meredith's house. Whatever, today it's not here anymore. Today you can see this brand new building here.
Auf Emelita Street nach Westen Richtung Tyrone Avenue starten.
Okay, now it's time to go to church, but it's not a normal church. It's Jim and Pam's church where they got married. Unfortunately, we cannot visit the church from the inside. Also, we cannot visit this property over here because they are currently filming something over there, like the security man told me. But whatever, let's try to find some scenes from over here.
Okay, here's a short disclaimer before we move on. In the second part of this video, my voice sounds a bit strange because I got a cold between the first and the second part of the voiceover recordings. It's still me, I just sound different. Sorry for that, but yeah, show must go on, right?
Well, this is one of those places where they only show you those weird close-up scenes. For example, in this scene where we can see Jim right in front of the church. And this scene has been filmed from over here. This is the church in all its glory. We can see the beautiful red wooden door that we can also see in the scene. In the series, we can only see Jim in front of the wooden door. Here's a scene we can see a bit more. Jim is playing football with that little guy. And yeah, that has been filmed somewhere here in this backyard. Unfortunately, we cannot compare the scenes because we're not allowed to go there. Anyway, we can see a lot of those red wooden doors in the background. That's how all those buildings of this church ensemble have been built. There are also a few lanterns standing in this backyard. You can see here, and you can also see one of those right here, right next to Jim. This has been filmed from inside the church. We can see the building in the background through the open door. It looks totally different today, but we can still see the cash machine, the ATM, on the left side. We can also see that, but the building itself has a completely different color. In the past, it used to be yellow, white-ish.
Today, it's gray and blue.
And this is the last scene I want to show you from this place. This is Meredith standing in front of the church. And we can also see a sign here that says Spruce Avenue Presbyteria Church. This is a fake sign. They put it here for the show because in reality this is not the Spruce Avenue Church. This is the Congregational Church of the Chimes in Sherman Oaks.
Okay, I think it's time to do a shopping tour now, and what place could be the perfect place to do that? Right, Victoria's Secret. The place where Michael takes all the girls from the office in the episode Women's Appreciation. We should find it in this mall over here, and maybe we will also find the fountain there.
Yeah, let's walk right into Steamtown Mall, which in reality is not Steamtown Mall. In reality, it's the Westfield Fashion Square, just a few hundred meters away from Jim and Pam's church in Sherman Oaks. And if we walk just a few meters from the main entrance into the mall, we will find the famous fountain, where Michael throws a coin in and tries to get it out, I guess, at the end of the episode. Yeah, it's this fountain over here. What we can see is that they changed the statue in the fountain. There was some kind of a bird or whatever that is. You see that? Is that a bird? I don't know. Today, it's not a bird anymore. It's just a white... I don't even know what that is. A picture frame? I don't know. It looks not that interesting, to be honest. Yeah, in the past, it used to be, I don't know, a statue, some kind of a statue, a bird or something like that. But what is definitely not fake are all those coins on the ground of this fountain. There really are a lot of coins in this fountain. This scene has been filmed from over here, Pam and Phyllis and Michael standing right in front of the fountain. What we can see is there is, I don't know what that is. Is that a palm tree? Is this a fake palm tree or something like that? Yeah, there's some kind of a tree or something like that standing in the mall, which is definitely not here anymore today. And obviously all those shops in the background also have changed a little bit. They look a bit different than they used to while they shot the show. And this is the scene where Michael takes all the women to Victoria's Secret. That has been filmed from over here. We can see Victoria's Secret changed its design. There are no real windows anymore today. This whole facade is pink. Yeah, looked totally different in the past. And we can also see that they changed the ground of this mall. You see that? It has a totally different floor. And this is the last scene I want to show you from this place. This is a different perspective. Michael and all the women are standing right in front of Victoria's Secret, and that has been filmed from over here.
There is an episode of The Office where you can see Scranton in all its glory. And that's the episode where they do a charity run. I already showed you a few of those scenes at the beginning of this video. And at the end of this charity run, Michael gives up. And all that happens right over here at a place that is actually quite far away from the office building. Yeah, let's take a closer look.
This is the first scene I want to show you, and this is also the scene why I found this place. Take a look at the background. There is a shop, AP Body Shop. I found it on Google Maps, and this place is 5.7 miles or 10 kilometers away from the office building, from the Chandler Valley Studios, which would be a 1.5 to 2 hour walk. So if Michael wants to give up here, I can understand. Anyway, this is how this area looks like today. They built a wall for whatever reason. I have absolutely no idea why. Looks a bit like construction works or something like that. I don't know. There are also a few lanterns in the middle of the road that haven't been here while they shot the show. Jim and Pam come to rescue Michael. That has been filmed from over here. And here we have exactly the same situation as in my latest shooting location tour about Back to the Future. It's so hot and dry right now in California that there is basically no grass growing anywhere. It was totally different while they shot the show. It was super green here. Today it doesn't look like that anymore. A few more things have changed in the background. For example, there is a building right behind Pam and Jim that is not here anymore. If you take a closer look at the left, the building obviously is gone, but we can see that this is exactly the same place. If you take a look at the tree in the background, it's still the same tree, and also the power pole on the right side is exactly the same. It has some kind of an archway, at least it looks like it. Yeah, it's still here. This is the parking space Michael is lying on. That has been filmed from over here. Once again, we can see the wall in the background, which hasn't been here while they shot the show. Just a few meters down the road, we will find the finish line of the Rabies Awareness Fun Run. And that has been filmed from over here. What we can see is the buildings in the background have a totally different color. There are dark black. In the past, they looked totally different. And here's Toby and Kelly sitting in the finish line. That has been filmed from over here. I'm not really sure what happened to the power pole on the right side because it's gone, obviously. The lantern on the left side is still here, as you can see. And also in the background, a few things have changed. The building on the left side is black, as we already have learned. And also this company has a new black fence. In the past, it looked totally different.
Okay, now it's time to show you the last shooting location for today, and now we're gonna have a good day with Dunder Mifflin and Sabre, which is over there.
Yeah, and as you might remember, we can see a lot of Sabre in the introduction video that has shown Michael and his co-workers when Sabre took over Dunder Mifflin. Here we can see Joe Bennett, CEO, right in front of the main entrance of Sabre, and that has been filmed from over here. The main entrance is still there, but of course the Sabre sign is gone because this in reality is not Sabre. Yeah, I don't really know what this is, to be honest. Obviously, there are different companies inside this building, but it has something to do with money. It's a bank, obviously, and it's located in a town called Westlake Village. What we can see, they obviously also changed the bushes in the background. They cut them down. What you can still see are those bollards in the background, and also those weird round bollards or whatever that is where Joe Bennett is sitting on. Those things are still here. Yeah, Michael is a huge fan of Christian Slater, as you might remember, and his idol is standing right over here, right in front of this pond and the beautiful building in the background. Not much has changed here. The pond is still there. There are also a few animals swimming around here, ducks or swans or something like that. Beautiful. Yeah, and this, by the way, is how the rest of this area looks like around the famous Sabre building. It's actually a quite fascinating architecture. I'd really like to work here. I have absolutely no idea what the real Sabre is doing here, but I'd really like to work here. But anyway, I think it's time to go back to the motel now.
So, that was my shooting location tour of The Office. To be honest, that was a really special day for me because I've been planning this trip for 3 years or something, and then COVID came and I couldn't do it. So today I finally could, and I saw all the places in real life that I've seen on television for so many times. So yeah, that was a really special day for me. Yeah, but that was also my last shooting location tour here from Los Angeles. The next time we're gonna see each other will be from San Francisco. Yep, you heard me right. Tomorrow I'm going on a very long car ride to San Francisco, and what will happen there I will tell you in the next video. So you should definitely subscribe to this channel and ring the bell so you won't miss any upcoming video. If you like my The Office tour, then please leave a thumbs up. And you can also become a Patreon if you like to support me and my work. And then you will also get some exclusive stuff, for example, all the addresses of the filming locations I showed you today, and also new videos before everyone else, so you should definitely check that out. But that's it for today. Have a safe journey and see you next time, then from San Francisco. Bye bye.